doubts about the vaccine, and then I got this invitation to talk to you, so it would be really helpful for all of us to learn and to understand about the vaccine. So, first question, which of the COVID-19 vaccines have been officially approved by the FDA?
3 of them. One from Moderna, which is the mRNA vaccine, one from Pfizer, which is another mRNA vaccine, and the other one is from J&J, Johnson & Johnson, which is a little bit different. It gives the same kind of response, but it's a little bit different. So there are 3 vaccines that have gotten emergency use authorization from the FDA so far.
I was sitting thinking, oh man, he did it again. I mean, I don't know if you caught that, everybody. You see what he did? So this actor asked the question, which of the vaccines have been approved by the FDA? And this is something that no one in media seems to understand. There's a difference between an approval and an emergency use authorization. Approval means you have to go through all of your safety studies, right? You have to, made sure and proven it's safe in long-term, short-term, all of that. How the placebo group do. But we've jumped in this emergency use authorization, which is really essentially a right to try. And Jeffrey, were you just sitting there thinking, oh my God, he's done it again. He's just done his word salad and totally confused this actor?
Yeah, every news anchor would have stopped there. Would have not asked any questions.
That's it.
Yep.
Got it. Got my answer. It is approved. But not apparently Eugenio Derbez. He continued. Watch this. I think this is the first time this has ever happened. I wish it happened on CNN, but on Instagram, good enough. Take a look at this.
So I'm going to play here the devil's advocate.
Okay.
To understand better, I asked if it was approved by the FDA, but I think that it's a different thing that an emergency use authorization than an approval. So, what is the difference between an emergency use authorization and an official approval by the FDA?
Yes, that's a very good question. So, an emergency use authorization is based on the criteria if the benefit clearly outweighs the risk and that you get a good degree of efficacy and safety. The full licensure is when you follow it for a longer period of time and you get more information and data. I have no doubt, given how very, very efficacious all 3 of these are, that they will ultimately get the full authorization in the sense of what's called a biological license approval. But an emergency use authorization is really quite of an important step in the direction of getting it the official approval.
Okay, so but if the vaccines are safe and effective, why hasn't the FDA given any of them the full official approval and license?
Actually, Eugenio, that is a very good question. There isn't like they have any problem with it. It just takes logistically a long time to get the approval. So when this is such a good product that you want to get it to people as quickly as possible because it's life-saving, you give it what's called an emergency use authorization. Not that there's anything less effective in it. You just takes a long time to get the full approval, and rather than deprive people of getting a life-saving vaccine before all of the I's get dotted and the T's get crossed, they give it an emergency use authorization based on a lot of solid data that it works.
I wonder at what point. I was sort of thinking, wow, he just doesn't let it go, right? And then you've got Fauci trying to now spin this, right? Well, you're really great question, Eugenio, but the truth is that it takes a really long time to dot all the I's and cross the T's and do something called science, which we want to skip. We want to stick into assumptions and dreaming and make sure everybody gets it under the Assumptions and Dreaming Act, known as a emergency use authorization. And so it's just really a formality. What do you think? I'm wondering if, given the questions that Eugenio's asking, do you think that answer worked for him?
I don't think so. It's interesting. Dr. Fauci said there was no problem with it. Actually, there was a problem with it. I believe every one of the vaccines, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer's, they had to pause their trials because of safety issues, because of the safety signals. So I guess that stretched out the timeline a little bit to dot those I's and cross those T's.
That's right. There's a lot of I's and T's and Bell's palsy and anaphylaxis.